project about the slave mannerism in medieval England. So, the way slaves or serfs, or later known as peasants of servile status, acted in medieval England was probably shaped by a bunch of factors, like their social status, cultural background, and personal experiences. Their mannerism may have been influenced by the culture of their origins, since many of the slaves in that time were war prisoners due to the outright slavery was uncommon during that time. In England, at the period of the Middle Ages, the manners and customs of their inhabitants were a mixture of those of the settlers themselves and those of conquered. As in the document of the Remonstrance of the Irish Chiefs, Linda Mitchell presents war prisoners becoming slaves, and those of us that escaped have alive were thrown by violence into a gulf of doleful slavery. However, being scared of punishment and wanting to please their masters might have made them act submissive, like bowing, avoiding eye contact, since they were at the very bottom of a hierarchical system in the medieval England, and using respectful language in a practical manner, meaning that their language capabilities were weaker than that of nobility or particularly their enslavers. And since the nobility in England during the Middle Ages used both Latin and Old English, how they sounded in repeated Old English, here is the modern translation. Oh, it is a very hard, beloved, very hard it is, because I am not free. The repetition of the same Old English words may indicate lack of eloquent vocabs by the speaker. Since the slavery was regulated by secular law, their mannerisms were significantly influenced by the cultural norms and expectations placed upon them during the medieval period of England, like in the document of the Remonstrance of the Irish Chiefs. English enslaved the Irish and refused to allow them to make wills, indicating that little to no autonomy among the captured or the enslaved, which in turn affects the mannerism of the enslaved to behave accordingly. Given that mannerism in medieval England was very practical, imperative, and how to appear in front of one's lord was above mentalities, as Michael Foster in From Courtesy to Urbanity in Late Medieval England provides an excerpt from a poem that teaches young pages the mannerism requirements appearing before their lord. Same imperatives applied to the serfs or slaves and may have been different in acts. To say a few lines here, the meaning: when you come before a lord in hall, in chamber, or at the table, to that lord you must bow low. With your right knee let it be done. The slaves or serfs lived during some significant events, like that of the Hundred Years' Wars that created economic hardship to the unfree and put them to forced labor, since unfree were serfs and peasants who were bound to the land. A system known as feudalism was very common during the Middle Ages and particularly medieval period of England, and the life of the enslaved or serfs was deeply important to the economy of the feudal system and keeping this system standing, since the enslaved were the economic backbone of large estates controlled by the lords. This was an overview of the way of life and mannerism of slaves in medieval England.